This is a story that you won't soon forget. It's an invasion tale, a story of Maria, the invasion with Maria. There's something about Maria. It was the invader, and he was looking to come and fight. And they were level 80, hanging out at the Storm Hill Shack. Maybe they were there to fight the Elmo Bryan, who hangs out, but that would need to be in the nighttime. This was in the daytime. And they did a lot of damage with skulls, and then tried Gavel of Haima, and then they did the Omen thing. They did that as well. But our hero, he was so brave. The invader is the hero. And if you disagree that the invader is the hero, if you disagree with that, then you need to, you need to reevaluate your moral compass, because it's not pointing true north, brother. Invaders are heroes of the world, and they are the people who champion all of the good deeds and happiness throughout all of the world and the lands between. Our hero was having to fight. He was outnumbered, and they were still, they were running so far away so that none of these low-level beginning area enemies could get into the fight, even though at this point these low-level enemies would be like, absolute pond scum to these people. And then they're using the blue dolly so that they can get a blue helper to come. And the friend of the host had the Dark Moon Greatsword and was doing stuff with that. And it was fire and ice, baby. It was fire and ice. They were doing battle. It was legend. But here comes the blue dolly now, coming to suckle their own thumb and pretend like they're playing with people who like them. But they're not. They're not doing that, are they? They're playing. They just jump in and they say, "I'm your friend. I'm your friend now. I'll die for you." They're like a Dark Souls 2 NPC. And all you Dark Souls 2 enjoyers, you're going to come for me for that take, but you all know I'm right. You all know every Dark Souls 2 NPC is exactly that type of desperate, friendless weirdo. And that's okay. You can enjoy it. You can enjoy those desperate, friendless weirdos. That's a fine thing to enjoy, but admit that that's what they are. There's a damn head sitting in a cliff top somewhere at the bottom of the cliff. I'm sorry, his corpse is on the cliff top. His head is down at the bottom of the cliff. And that sumbitch really talking like,
"Never talk to me. Never talk to me again. I don't want to talk to anyone ever."
And then if you talk to him a second time, he's like,
"You're my best friend, and I would die for you. I've missed having friends like you. I love you with all of my heart."
It's crazy. Anyway, that was the laggiest backstab we've ever seen. And the chase down, and then look, they feel so proud of what they did that they started squatting on the corpse. Oh no. I asked the invader, I said, "What will you do if you ever find him?" This is what he said.
"I'll tell you right now, if I ever see them boys, I'll get them like that. And like this. I'll get them like that and like this."
He was on a blood feud. But the question remained, would he ever see them again? Would he ever be able to find those same two players? The Elden Ring is a huge game. It's massive. And when you're playing at level 80, you can find people all over the place playing the game at that level. Some of them sticking to that level because they like it. Some of them at that level because they're just naturally progressing. who can say? It would be hard to ever run up on those same players again and prove once and for all who the better man was. But he said he would do it. He said he would keep trying until it happened. And so he began his montage era. He was in his montage era where he was getting better and better at fighting, becoming a champion, and strong, and using strength and fire and flame to hunt down that cold phantom who had burned him before with that bad backstab. But the question remained, would he be able to find them? And in his growth for power, in his quest for power, would he become an evil guy? Because sometimes that's what happens. A person becomes an evil guy when they quest for power. The type of person who spams spinning slash on a Nagakiba over and over and over again. That type of power. It's good to just press one button with one thing over and over and over again. That's how you know you have power, they say to themselves. But do they really have power? Or do they just press one button? Who knows? Who can say? Look, you're talking about things that are for the philosophers of the generations to figure out. I don't know enough to say what's going to happen or where it's going or anything like that. I just calls them like I sees them. But one thing can be for sure. He was going to press that button, and our hero was going to have to learn to deal with that. Did he have the power? Did he have the sheer force of will? And then he was on to the next one. He was on to the next one after a hard-fought victory. After a hard-fought victory, after a hard-fought victory, our hero was on to the next one. He would have to keep looking for those people, and he would have to keep training. But you've got to remember the odds of ever finding them again, slim to none. You have to believe. You'd have to think that the odds of finding those two players again would be slim to none. But he would always be vigilant. He would keep his eyeballs peeled, brother, sister, cousin. He was always going to make sure that he was ever vigilant on the hunt for those two people who had done him dirty. And really, hey, let's be honest, okay? Think about it. It was really just all up for fate to decide. You know, was it meant to be? Was it meant to be that he would find those same two people again? He began to suspect that he might, but that if he was going to find them, he would have to prove his worthiness. He would have to prove how valiant and worthy of finding them he actually was. And that was its own story. So he just continued on training and fighting and doing the best that he could in the hopes that one day they would feel the flames of retribution as they came up off of his hands and through the ground and just lit him up. And he said, I'm gonna do him like this. If I ever find him again, I'm gonna do like this, and I'm gonna do like that. When he did what he just did, that's what he said, and he meant it. You could tell that he meant it, that in his heart, that he was thinking about how real it was, how real it could possibly be, and that there would never be anything more real than the feeling of getting that sweet revengeance retribution, like in the Bible. It's the type of story that the Bible tells, and it tells it, it tells it a few times. And those are the types of stories that resonate with us as humans. And so that's the type of story that I'm telling you today. But there's a twist here, because unlike the Bible, this video is not, it's close to 2,000 years old or whatever. I don't know, but you can't possibly already know, is what I'm saying, right? But what you can be sure of is that he was going to always be on the lookout for those two, as he trained against everyone that he could train against. And it was like, he was in his Goku era. He was Vegeta in the hyperbolic time chamber, talking about some of that Kakarot. He was not going to go down without letting them know. If he was, they were going to have to kill him. Somebody was going to have to kill this man. But did anybody have what it takes to stop a man who's motivated like this? Max Payne on the PlayStation. Whatever happened to that game? That was a good one. They should bring that back. But maybe that's something we'll see after this The Last of Us 2 remake that was so desperately needed in the video game industry right now. Thank you. Thank you to all video game developers at Sony, PlayStation, Naughty Dog, for really just absolutely giving the people what they want, nay, what they need. What they need is a remaster of a game that just came out a couple years ago, So I don't want to hear about Max Payne and how Max Payne could use some love, right? Not at a time when The Last of Us 2 goes without a remaster in this day and age. Unforgivable. If you want to talk about maximum pain, if you want to talk about unforgivable, if you want to talk about unforgivenness, if you want to talk about Clint Eastwood out in the desert trying to raise money for his family on the farm, trying to change his ways, if you want to talk about that, that's the connection. Families and trying to change, trying to grow and be a different person, and then just getting sucked off into your old life, right back into it. You're out enjoying your day, you think you've changed, you think you've grown, and before you know it, you're just getting sucked off back into your old life of revengeance. Sometimes you're the guy with the high ground. Sometimes you're the guy who doesn't have the high ground. Our Invader, the hero of our story, he had become the guy with the high ground. And we can listen in to these two, and we can hear the words that they're saying.
Oh no, Timmy! He got me! I'm a-running! Oh, right away! Oh, run in that hole, brother. Don't let him get you.
I hacked into their PlayStation database, hardlined into the mainframe, and downloaded that audio of them as they were on mics playing with each other. And that's new technologies that I have acquired thanks to the United States massive military budget, which is exactly the sort of thing that we should be spending money on, is listening to these two guys play Elden Ring together. And if you ever get appendicitis, it hurts, okay? But just clasp your hands together and really start thanking God that, we have this type of technology. What is happening here? Double Burno Flame proc. It had to have been. I haven't watched the footage back. I've been too busy. But that's what I think happened. there's another double Burno Flame proc. And on the wake up, the Dance of the Deadly. The Deadly Dance. A dance of blades. Whoosh, whoosh. And that's all it takes. But our hero was not satisfied with that victory. He knew that he was strong, and he knew that he had grown and become more powerful than he could have ever dreamed of being before. Just 15 short minutes ago, when he first encountered Maria and her friend, Shield Goblin. He was stronger now, but would he ever run into those two again to prove to them that he had been stronger? And had he truly earned the strength of legends? He had shown it in flashes and glances, but could he put it all together once and for all? That became the question. Could he hang on to that power, or would it consume him? You know, you have to learn to live with that power. It was Spider-Man's Uncle Ben who said, "With great power comes great responsibility." And our Invader, he knew that because he had seen the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies, and he enjoyed them. And you know he especially enjoyed that second one. The scene with Doc Ock on the table getting the surgery done, but the octopus arms had already like fused to him, and the octopus arms sort of come alive in the operating room while they're trying to do surgery, and Sam Raimi really dials it back, and he goes crazy with the fixed camera on the tentacles, which is, you know, very reminiscent, obviously, of his work on The Evil Dead, and when the woods come to life, and the branches on the trees, and the vines, and the ghosts, and all that stuff, just start zooming towards our protagonist and the other campers. You know, that's a beautiful little shot in the operating room. And I really like that as a person who's a big, you know, nerd for horror movies. It was great to see Sam Raimi, you know, call back to his own stuff like that in a fitting way, not like forcing, not every, you know, not forcing it into every scene, but just really knowing when it would work and just absolutely killing it. Shout out to those Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies that starred Uncle Ben when he gave a warning to old Peter Parker about not letting power corrupt him, but also acting in the best interest of others with the power that he had been given. And that was something that our hero was thinking about a lot. Elden Ring, you know, famously in the lands between, everybody gets together as a family, the entire world, on Thursday nights, and they put a movie on the projector, and they project the movie onto the canopy of that big tree. And they love to watch Spider-Man 2, starring Tobey Maguire. Every Thursday they watch it. They have an entire library of movies, but they just watch Spider-Man 2 over and over again, and they never get tired of it. It's like the Rocky Horror Picture Show for them. They go there and they watch it, and they say the lines, and they call out, and they go back and forth with the characters in the film. You know, when the Osborn kid eats the pie and he says, "So good," everybody in the audience says, "So good." You know, they all do it together. It's a really good time. But our hero, he was so mad and so consumed with revengeance that it was Thursday and he did not go see Spider-Man 2. Instead, he was chasing these three around, because these three were actually, they knew the location of the two guys from the start of the video, Maria. They knew Maria's location. They were in charge of where Maria was at. They were her boss, and they were the boss of the guy with the big shield as well. And our hero had finally found a map to the leaders, and he was going to take down the whole syndicate. But here's the thing. Did he really care about taking down the syndicate? Or did he just care about getting his revenge against Maria? Well, I guess we would have to find out. We're going to have to keep watching the movie if we want to know the answer to that question. When I'm watching a movie with you, and I've never seen the movie, and you've never seen the movie, and you ask me, hey, why did this happen? I don't know. I don't know. We're in this together. All right? This is for both of us. I don't know anything that you don't know. Okay? Anyway, the Syndicate, they were a tricky group. They pretended like they were going to be honorable, but do you think they would have been honorable? I don't. I don't think they would have been honorable at all. So he set himself on fire with true revengeance, not just for him, but for the hearts of all the people who had been betrayed by the Syndicate. The Syndicate was out there every day making money off of people in ways that, were immoral. And so this answered our question. Our hero was on fire with righteous fury. Can you believe it? He was a good guy. He was a champion. And he was going to take out the Syndicate. But they started to slaughter, innocent people that were just singing and dancing and minding their own business. The Syndicate was evil. They were terrible people. But our hero was not about to just give up. No, he led them away from the civilians, and he led them to the people who knew how to defend themselves. The hillbillies, the hill folk, the Appalachians, in the village windmill pasture. And when that happened, oh, now it's on. It was definitely on. And one of them had the Reaver, and one of them had the running Cestus attack, but it was easy to see that coming and to punish its lack of range with a fully charged O-Flame on a build that does really good damage with a fully charged O-Flame. If you don't believe me that it does, just watch what you've seen there. Just see what you've seen with your own eyes and look. And that's what the Syndicate gets. It's what they deserve, right? Not only for hiding the location of Maria and her shield-bearing goblin, but also for all of the bad harm that they had done to the poor, sweet, innocent dancing women of Windmill Village. And then another one was destroyed. And now it was just old Frumpy Dumpy. Old Frumpy Dumpy sat on a wall, and old Frumpy Dumpy had a great fall. And we all know the rest of the story about what happens to Frumpy Dumpy after the fall. A bunch of strange men in long-nosed masks show up, and they have sex with his corpse. And that is another movie that you will not see playing on the Erd Tree on Thursdays. But these guys watch it. They watch it every day because they're stuck here, living in it, because they're content now. Do you understand what's happened? Are you beginning to understand? It's forever. Just forever here in this moment. Living forever. And it never goes away. Just stuck. Reincarnated as karmic content. What a world. What a world we live in. Maybe on Thursdays they'll play this video on the Erd Tree. And this is the movie. This is the movie that we're watching right now. Old Frumpy Dumpy. Old Frumpy Dumpy coming down the way. Still the question remained. Would our hero get his revengeance after taking revenge on the Syndicate? And the answer, of course, was yes. He would. And this is his reaction.
I'm gonna get you back like this. Like this and like that. I'm gonna get you like this. I'm gonna get you like this and like that.
Thank you for watching this movie. It's finished. Seriously, thank you for watching. Later, y'all.